We have new data that suggests we should have an absolutely blowout quarter in Europe, which is very important actually, because Troy expects Europe to have weak deliveries this quarter. He says Tesla sales in Q1 2023 are expected to be new records in the US and in China, but not in Europe. We will find out the actual registrations in Europe around April 8th. Q4 2022 was 93,500 units, but he only expects 80,000 in Q1. Q1 is typically a low quarter in Europe. The UK sales look low. But if we come back to Norway here just for a moment, and I know it's a small country, but it's easy to have very recent data from Norway, and you can see this huge bump right here. If it keeps going on like this will clearly be a record quarter. And there's some criticism here that we are focused on 20 million yearly sales by 2030, but we are focused on this tiny country, which is the size of a big city. And of course, Norway has a lot of subsidies. But Roland points out that as soon as the monthly data comes in from the larger countries, I will focus on it again, and you will see the same picture that we see building up between the months from the daily reporting countries. Troy generally tends to be quite right, although the last two quarters he was a little bit too optimistic, but maybe he went a little bit too far on the other side now to make up for being too optimistic. Maybe now he is too pessimistic. Just an observation. He is still probably right though, but there is that possibility this data is going to turn out to be more right. Now keep in mind, these are Tesla sales in Europe of only daily reporting countries, just 4 small countries, but generally it seems to sort of work out often. So at the moment, I think it is worth paying more attention to Europe because US and China, these seem to be clearly heading towards record deliveries, but Europe is where we wonder the most about what is actually going to happen. Troy thinks the sales are going to be low. We'll see. Lately, the whole world seems to be in some sort of, I don't know, what is going on with people. These people are protesting about pension age being changed from 62 to 64. Meanwhile, in the US for decades, pensions started around 65 to 67. And Canada is somewhat similar as well. I haven't looked into this deeply, but seems like an overreaction. Elon agrees too that the retirement age in France is too low. You're missing the point. If that's the case, run it through the democratic process and have a vote, not by executive decree. That's okay. I see where the issue is. And we are back to Tesla stock news. For those who have forgotten, I was championing a Tesla vehicle that would be a $25,000 to $30,000 compact, probably 18 to 24 months ago, to expand the total addressable market to the mass segment when management put it on the back burner in favor of a robotaxi. Was not working on a cheaper vehicle a mistake? Let's see what Elon Musk said about a year ago. We are currently not working on the $25,000 car. At some point we will, but we have enough on our plate right now. Too much on our plates, frankly. So at some point we will be working on it, but that is the wrong question to ask. The real question is, which matters overwhelmingly, is when is the car autonomous? I think at the point in which it is autonomous, the cost of transport drops by a factor of 4 or 5. With ChatGPT becoming incredibly good, I think a lot more people are now understanding that full self-driving will be solved, and it is probably going to happen faster than many people think. I'm not talking about Tesla stock bulls, I'm talking about the general public and also Tesla stock investors that are sort of bullish on Tesla stock, but they always discredited FSD. I think many people before thought, oh, it's basically never going to happen, but now they see ChatGPT coming out of nowhere, and I think they are changing their minds. Even James, the cat, on Twitter now is more bullish on Tesla full self-driving than before. He did not believe in full self-driving at all. And of course, Gary Black has been right that Tesla is not on the verge of solving full self-driving, and I believe he will keep saying that until the very moment it will become painfully obvious it will be solved. And of course, Elon has been wrong about the dates. Full self-driving is not solved, but right now, clearly Tesla is working on a cheaper vehicle. That is abundantly clear. I personally like backup plans, and I wish Tesla worked on the car earlier, but I think they didn't really make that much of a mistake because Tesla was very busy with supply chain issues, and this year I think we are still going to be fine just with the Model 3 and the Model Y, and the Cybertruck is going to come out as well. But if we believe Tom Zhu, then the factory in Mexico should be done in about a year. So we could see deliveries of that cheaper vehicle next year, maybe even. And I really like this analogy, Gary. This reminds me of Apple in 2016 when they didn't have a bigger screen and lost share in China to Samsung. Tim Cook didn't say anything, but the following year they came out with a new product version. And of course, the rest is history. Apple had gone 7x since then. Same thing will happen with Tesla, and even Gary Black agrees that's a good analogy. And if you could have somehow predicted with 100% certainty that full self-driving is not going to be solved very quickly, then Gary's approach, of course, would have been right. And I personally like backup plans, and I would have liked Tesla to at least dedicate some resources to that cheaper vehicle, but I think it is going to be just fine. It is clearly a big priority at the moment. And I believe there will be a moment when full self-driving is just going to sneak up on everyone. And then everyone is going to be talking about, oh, we just need to focus on a robotaxi vehicle. Forget about that cheaper vehicle that is not perfectly optimized as a robotaxi. We need just a robotaxi only. That needs to be the sole focus of Tesla. And of course, you can make a vehicle that can be used as a robotaxi and as a compact vehicle, but do you really want to drive around in a vehicle that looks like a mini bus? Some wouldn't mind, but I don't think that's what most people want. And sure, a smaller vehicle that looks like a Model 3 could work as well, it's just not optimal. Since Investor Day, Tesla stock is down 12% versus NASDAQ up 4%. 2023 and 25 volume estimates and earnings estimates largely unchanged. Stock is likely stuck in 170 to 190 range until the first quarter volume print on April 2nd. Street is at 420,000 deliveries for Q1. And this is pretty good news. The LFP battery is 60% of the total cost of a megapack, but the cost of lithium has come down about 50% and still in free fall, while average selling price of these megapacks has recently actually increased. Look at this lithium price just falling off a cliff, down about 50% now. Volkswagen is planning to invest in mines to bring down the cost of battery cells, meet half of its own demand, and sell to third-party customers, the car maker's board member in charge of technology said. So they are investing in mining. Elon says the problem is not mining, the problem is refining. Once again, these legacy automakers are focused on the wrong problem. All Tesla stock investors should also see this. So this is AI-generated photos from April 2022, just a year ago. Really bad. Obviously not real, obviously fake. What is this thing here? Weird. In July, I think things just got quite a bit worse. I mean, what is this? Obviously fake. But in November, yeah, still this one obviously fake. And I don't think anyone has freckles like that. I'm from Europe and people have freckles there. Yeah, definitely not real, but although, like, this one looks better and this one, yeah, but if you look closely, it's like, yeah, I don't think that's real. If you really pay attention, not real. But now, if you told me these are real photos taken by a great photographer with a great model, I'm like, okay, yeah, good job. Cool. Maybe if we look super close, maybe I can probably figure out eventually that there's something off. But just looking at this for 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 1 minute, these look pretty good. So give it another few years and you will have videos generated, deep fakes that will look completely real. You won't be able to tell a difference. We have AI generating photos. We have AI writing essays, writing jokes. ChatGPT is doing a Pretty impressive job. Although there are many, the joke sometimes can be a little bit weird, but it's getting better. With all of that progress, I can't see how full self driving will not be solved. We can argue which year, but I don't think we can say, oh, it's going to be decades and decades and decades from now. I think most of Tesla's growth in the next 10 years will come from full self driving. And this is the Tesla stock buying opportunity explained by Elon Musk. My name is Matt Posius. Like and subscribe if you haven't yet, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.